Good morning and welcome to the morning drive with the Undertaker. Thank you for joining me this morning. It's a lovely 72 degrees in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. Come on in, hit that share button, text somebody, call somebody. Tell them it's that time for the morning drive with the Undertaker. All right, there we go. Come on in. We got some good news today. Thank you. I see you out there. Come on in here. Come on and join us this morning. Let's give them a few more seconds. All right, here she comes. I see you out there. We're about to, and there's Miss Marlonda. Still got a
Mr.
blank screen,
you
Marlonda,
there?
but I know you're coming up soon. There she is. Hey, Marlonda, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you, sir?
Good morning. I see Kevin Haynes is on with us this morning.
What's up, Chief Haynes?
All right, let's get started. Early this morning, I'm going to let you do the entertainment news because I know you keep up with all that stuff. You want to start this morning? You want me to
I will
start?
start this morning with a little
Go right
entertainment
ahead.
news. So you all know Felicia Rashad, formerly Claire Huxtable of The Cosby Show, older
Of
sister to
course.
Debbie Allen. She
Right.
will be the new Dean of Fine Arts at Howard University.
All right. Hey, I'm a big fan. I was a big fan of The Cosby Show. And of
Yes.
course, Debbie Allen, her sister's very talented. But I'm a
Yes.
big fan of hers as well. So she's going to join Howard after all these years. Go
Yes,
right
she's going to
ahead.
join Howard as the Dean of Fine Arts at one of the most historical Black colleges and universities. And then Debbie Allen, Mr. Beckwith, will also be honored, and we'll see it later on. She will also be honored with one of the Kennedy Awards. You know that they have those Kennedy Awards
Right.
every year. So she will be honored sometime later this summer. It will air on CBS.
So Felicia goes from Hollywood stardom. She did a great job there. And now
Yes.
she's going to give back to the community. She's going to go back to a historical Black
Yes.
college, of course,
Yes. Yes.
and actually teach and be a part of that program
Yes.
and actually head that program.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And they also have, a lot of stock in Texas Southern University down in Houston, which is another historical Black college. They're kind of from that area, but it's good to see her go to Howard.
All right. So you said she's originally from Houston.
Yes, they're from the
Felicia
Houston
Rashad.
area. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yes.
Hey, that's going to
Yes.
be great, especially for recruitment. So if I'm
Absolutely.
interested in getting in that type of business, if I definitely want to be taught by someone who's been there, done that's been successful, and she should still have some type of connections with television and movies.
Yes, sir. She's doing amazing things. She's been featured on a couple of shows. Even Debbie Allen produces Grey's Anatomy, so she's still out there doing her thing.
So for those who's coming in now, come on in, you guys. We're talking about Felicia Rashad. Says she's got she chose to be, you said, the head of the fine arts department at Howard University. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, let's get into a little world news. Hey, you guys, I'm gonna do my travel alert. I know we're excited. Everything is saying, hey, that the traveling is gonna get back to where it was back in 2019. The airports are gearing up. The planes are gearing up. Everybody's getting ready to travel.
Yes.
And you know me, I'm gonna tell you to be careful. Be careful out there, right here on the morning drive with the Undertaker. Be careful. We talked about going to Italy, getting on those cable cars. I read a little bit more about that. They're saying that the brake failed on that cable car where 14 people was killed. Sad situation. Be careful as you travel. Let's talk about Mexico. Mexico is so close to Texas. And you know how we just so easily cross that border because normally they don't have very high restrictions about COVID and don't limit us.
Right.
And it's cheap. I mean, the bottom line, going to Mexico is cheap.
Yes.
But remember, stay on the tourist route. Don't get adventurous. Don't go rent that car, rent that SUV or whatever. Say, hey, let's go party somewhere we normally don't party. Why is that? Because some gunmen ambushed the director of the state police. Now, these gunmen are not prejudiced. They're not just robbing tourists, but they ambushed the state police, the chief. They said it was the cartel that got him.
Yep.
Northern Mexico State. They said they killed him on Monday. So just imagine you're out on vacation, you're traveling or whatever the case may be, and you find yourself in one of these situations because you don't know where the cartel is. You don't know Mexico like that. And you
Right.
think, hey, I'm on vacation, I can do anything I want to do. They say he was found dead in a bullet-riddled car on a highway
Wow.
near the state capitol. So my travel warning is when you go out of this country, when you go anywhere, you have to be careful, stay on the terrorist route. I mean, if you're a tourist, stay a tourist. What do you think about that?
Yeah, exactly. I completely agree. Don't get adventurous. Stay where you are, and definitely don't go anywhere by yourself. And it's just, when we're in a foreign country and that's not our homeland, you need to stay where you started, in your hotel. Stay at your hotel and enjoy all of the free
Amenities and
amenities.
all the stuff that
Yes,
comes with that.
yes,
I know we'll
yes.
get a little loose. We'll go down to South Padre. We'll say, hey, let's just go ahead and cross the border in Matamoros. Hey, we're in El Paso. Let's go and go to Juarez. Hey, we're in Cancun. Let's venture off and go somewhere. We're saying
No,
no, no, no, no, no. That
no,
could be a
don't do it.
deadly situation. Hey,
Right.
you heard about this? Refunding the police. You've heard of defunding the police, right?
Defund them. Mm-hmm.
Now, a year later, they're saying refund the police. Say, why refund the police? 12 mass shootings in America last weekend. 12 mass shootings now. Not just 12 people got shot in America, 12 mass shootings. You say, well, how does it have to, what does it have to do with the police? Why refund the police? They say thousands of Americans will die from gun violence this summer. They just say that's the way it is. The summer is high season for gun violence. We need police on the streets. Now, the refund the police came from, check this out of all places, Minneapolis.
Wow.
So it's been exactly about a year and a week since the George Floyd incident,
Yeah.
the
Today's
murder
the
of George Floyd. I don't
anniversary.
want to just call it incident. Yeah, so he was killed, right? And what happened, they
Yes.
city council went in and they defunded the police. They cut down on the police budget. Um, but also it cut down on the police being able to respond. Now that same city is seeking outside help to
Wow.
police the streets.
That's
So
crazy.
last year, when we're upset, we make quick, fast decisions. Hey, everybody say, hey, defund the police.
Right.
Not sure exactly what that meant. Take the
Wow.
money away. They say put the money towards streets or something like that.
Right.
When
Right.
you do that, what happens? Who is now patrolling the streets? And are you
Wow.
able to hire officers?
Mm-hmm.
That was interesting. They said, listen, they said a lot of officers just walked away from Minneapolis. After that situation, they was like, hey, we out of here. We gone. And
Right.
they defunded them, so therefore the money wasn't there to hire other
More police
officers. So who's
officers.
now patrolling? And we're not saying we should have bad officers out there. We're not saying it
Sure.
was okay. What happened? Definitely not. But what happens when you defund the police?
Right.
And now we're saying this is summer months, COVID, people taking the mask off, people getting out, people traveling.
Right.
And who's patrolling
The
the
streets.
streets? So,
Yeah.
hey, that's something to think about. Do we need to refund? Capitol Police, the National Guard left. The National Guard
They,
gone from the Capitol. They out of there.
yep. Yep.
But Capitol Police don't have any money. They're about 200 officers down. People walked off. They're like, listen, we out of here.
They don't want no
So,
parts of it.
do we refund the police? I mean, I've
Wow.
talked to a good friend of mine that teach at the Dallas Academy. I said, hey, still some recruits out there. We got some more people coming in. Are they going to have the money to have people on the streets? So let's
Wow.
move on to another subject. What's happening? What's happening in the nation? Now, this is interesting because we're doing Facebook Live now. We're on social media.
Mm-hmm.
The governor in Florida said this. Listen, we about to crack down on this social media stuff. They're saying we're giving too much power to Facebook, too much power to Twitter, and we're allowing them to decide who's on their platform politically. He's saying, listen, if I am running for office, they can go in and decide I can no longer be on their platform.
Wow.
He said, that's a problem. And they have. They did the same thing with Trump. They say,
Right.
Trump, hey, you're lying too much. Get off our platform. You can't use
Right.
our platform for that anymore. They just signed a law. It's saying, hey, it's going to be harder for them to do that, but also a law saying we can sue, or they can sue these big tech companies for doing that,
Wow.
from removing candidates from their platforms,
Platform.
especially if they're running for office. So they're saying Facebook, Twitter, and Amazon and all these people have a lot of power.
Hmm.
And if they don't like the candidate, they don't like what he's saying, they won't allow him to use the same platform as the other candidate that's running against him or her.
So
What do you think about that?
freedom of speech really isn't freedom of speech. It's freedom of speech
Well,
with control of what I tell you I'll accept and what I won't accept.
but it's my platform. Do I have
Right.
to?
That's
I
what
mean,
I'm
you can
saying.
have
I
a freedom
control
of
it.
speech, but do I have to give you my? Do I have to give you my microphone? Do I have to give you my house, my building, my business to speak at? And I
Well, I
think,
think
you know,
that's
I think Facebook and Twitter, and I think those they should have a right to decide who's on their platform.
I agree, especially since it's free. We don't pay to use Facebook, Twitter, Instagram,
Right?
Snapchat, any of that. So they have all the control in the world.
So that's interesting. If they sign it in law, let's see if they're able to enforce it. Let's see what happens with that. What's happening on the state news? You know, like we said, it's summertime is coming. Um, the law passed. You can now carry that weapon in Texas. Well, I think it goes into effect maybe in September, without a license now. The
That's crazy.
permitless carry of handguns is headed to Governor Abbott's desk. So he's going to sign it into law this week. So in September, when the new laws go into play, you don't have to have a license to carry a gun. Now, you never have to have a license to carry a long gun. What I mean by that is a rifle, it's AR-15s. You've seen those fools walking around with these shotguns and all that. You never need a
Right.
license for that in Texas. You don't need a license to have one in your home. And a lot of people didn't know you don't need a license to have a gun in your car in the state of Texas. Now,
That's too much.
in September, you're not going to need a license, period. You're not going to need a license to walk from your house to your car. You're not going to need a license to walk around anywhere. Now, there will be the same things on businesses saying guns are not allowed. You still have to respect private businesses. But the law saying if you can legally own one, you can legally carry one. There's going to be some exceptions for those who've gotten in trouble with certain type of convictions. They won't be allowed to carry. But other than that, it's going to be pretty much free game. And the police can't just, walk up to you and say, hey, you got a license for that? There is no license. And it's not like
What?
it's going to be a background check readily available for the police. Let me run a background check on you. Nobody has time for all that. So it's going to look like the Wild Wild West pretty soon if everybody
That's
chooses to walk around with them. What do you think about that?
a mess. And Miss Kennedy said Texas will be the new gangsters. I agree, Miss Kennedy. This is not good. I think that young people, especially, will be able to, you know,
Got to be
get it.
21 or older.
Yeah, I just think that it is crazy. I totally disagree with it. You need a license to carry, and if
So
y'all
let's
don't get
talk
out,
about that.
gotta get out and vote him out.
But
You gotta
listen,
get out.
it is 50 states in America, and listen to this: 20 of them you don't have to have a license to carry a gun.
But then,
So
Mr.
people,
Beckwith, it just gives people a reason to say, well, I was defending myself. I felt, I
correct?
was violated. And we're going to see so much more crime and what have you. I just think it's a bad idea.
You think it's
Bad
a bad
idea.
idea? Now, what about the other 20 states that allow you to do the exact same thing? And I know people are always tough on Texas. I would say Texas got the worst gun laws, but 20 other states. And I've traveled around the United States. I don't see people just walking around with guns on their side. I don't know if people will actually take advantage of it and walk around. And I will get the list tomorrow of the other states, and we'll kind of compare to them, and maybe it won't
What
turn to
they're
the Wild Wild West. Let's hope not.
Yeah, but I think when you look at that, you also look at stats and statistics as it relates to what is crime in certain cities in those
Uh-huh.
states. Dallas is notorious for states. I mean, for shootings and killings and things of that. Yeah. So
I
we'll
mean, we
look
are
into it.
definitely the biggest state, and we definitely have some major cities here. I mean, you look
Sure,
at San Antonio population, Houston,
Austin,
Dallas, Fort Worth,
Dallas.
Austin. Yeah, we have some
Yes.
major metropolitan areas. So that's going to be interesting to see people carry a gun in those big cities like that. We'll get a list tomorrow of the other states that allows that. And let's just take a look and see what's really happening with that. Now, before we get off today, we got to talk a little bit about the NBA. The Mavericks play tonight, so we're going to definitely support them. 9:30 p.m. tonight. Be sure to turn your tape on. You know me, I'm
We'll
not going to
be
stay up
up.
that
Ain't
late.
nobody going back watching no tape games. So y'all miss the game. We'll be asleep. So you can count on me to give you a review because he'll be asleep.
All right, let's definitely see what's happening. We'll let Marlana keep us up on what's happening with the Mavericks. Now, y'all know we won a season opener, which gives us home court advantage now. So
Right.
that's going to be a good thing. We got the games coming to Dallas this week. I'm excited about that. I'm see if I can get Jackie to go out to one of the games with me this week. And y'all know the Cowboys. I know y'all ready for some football. Y'all ready for some football like I'm ready for some football. So finally, y'all OTAs is getting ready to start. So several teams getting ready to start practicing. So we actually, the media gets to go out there. They get to actually observe the practice. So of course, if they observe it, we're gonna get to watch it on television.
Right.
So I'm excited. I'm excited about seeing Dak. With this fixed ankle. We get to see him in action. All these draft picks that we picked. We picked a lot of draft picks. A lot of people on defense. New defensive coordinator from Atlanta Falcons. We're excited to see what he has in store for. He runs that 3-4. They were bragging about having the top 10 defense in the NFL next year. And we're on the way to that Super Bowl. So I'm excited about some football. I am so glad we're on the way back, and no, New Orleans won't be there. So don't get off without a look COVID.
Cowboys. See, I was trying to be nice.
Let's get a little COVID news in. Dallas County still had 19 deaths on yesterday. We got to stay vigilant on this COVID. Tarrant County had 4 more deaths on yesterday. Got to stay visual. And check this out. New York. A lot of people saying they're not getting this vaccine now. I was shocked. I thought everybody was going to get the vaccine. I've met some people, especially this weekend. I was talking to some adults, young adults. They're saying, hey, we're not getting it. I'm like, you not getting it? No. I said, well, take the kids to get it at least. They said, we ain't getting it. We don't believe the kids not get it. Nope. New York City Public Schools said this. Next year, you're going to school. They said no school. No school at home. All kids will be in school. New York is the largest school district in the nation.
Yes, sir.
And they say, listen, get them a shot or they going to be coming in contact with COVID.
Period.
You better get a shot or your kids going to come back and give it to you.
Hello?
So if New York, the largest school district in the nation, says there will be no remote, what do you think is going to happen with the rest of the nation? What do you think, Marlana?
It's going to be a whirlwind. We're going to see it repeat all over again. Only 38% of the nation is vaccinated. And so you do the math.
Shock me.
It's just amazing how ignorant we are of not getting this vaccine. I think we're going to see.
Sandra Kendi saying, what do you think about the vaccine lottery? Sandra, we're going to have to check into that. I haven't heard anything about the vaccine lottery. Heard a lot about the vaccine passport, saying, hey, I can get in some places. Texas, of course, said, hey, you can't use them here. So that's going to be interesting. I believe that if New York set that standard with those kids not having remote school, I believe it's getting ready to happen nationwide.
Yep. Because
get those kids a shot.
They need the money. They need the funding and the money. And if you continue to hybrid kids where you give them an option to be in school or from home, it's not going to work. The funding, that's what they're worried about. They don't care about them kids. They care about funding. I said it. And
if the kids are not in the seats, they do not get funded. That's the bottom line. You got to be in the seats. That's what I was told, right?
Yes, sir.
Hey, go get vaccinated. Come on now. There is no conspiracy from the government. They're not putting chips in us. They got a chip in that phone you keep next to you all the time. So if they want to keep up with you, all they have to do is keep up with your phone. All right, you guys, let's get together tomorrow morning and talk all about it.